we are going to start our meeting. I hear echo or something. All right. So greetings, Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and distinguished guests and friends. My name is Shauna Step Jones. I am your amazing Sergeant at Arms, calling our meeting into session. This is club number 979-269. It's been a new year, so I'm warming up. So stay with me. Got to get this script back in order. A lot has went on since the last time we met. But this is the club that teaches and promotes public speaking. You're here if you're looking to become a more confident speaker. You're here if you are looking to become a more lucid, clear speaker. And if you're also here if you are trying to just practice your technical skills, because we're now on Zoom. And so this is an opportunity for you to get used to using the Zoom tools, the virtual tools. We do have a few reminders for everyone. If you are speaking, if you're not speaking, we ask that you please mute your mic. Again, if you're not speaking, we ask that you please mute your mic to avoid causing any distractions. We also ask that you cut off your camera if you are going to move around. If you need to move around, we ask that you please cut off your camera to avoid any distractions. Also, keep in mind that we are streaming live from Facebook and YouTube. So this will give you an opportunity to go back and check yourself out and improve upon your public speaking if you feel that you need to. But it's a great opportunity to see and hear yourself speak. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our amazing president. This is Mr. Robert Tyree. I welcome you to the mic. Thank you.
Shauna, thank you so much for introducing me. You did an amazing job, and thank you for your energy and everything you do for Toastmasters. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. My name is Robert Tyree, and I'm your president, and I'm ready to serve you. All right. Thank y'all for coming out this evening. Thank you guys for allowing us to broadcast nationwide. We're internationally known Toastmasters. You could have been anywhere this evening, but you decided to join us for our amazing, impactful event today. We have an amazing lineup of table topics with the best tabletop masters you ever seen. So I'm excited because this is our second meeting of the year. We had a little break and a little transition, but we're back at it again, and I'm so excited to be a part. So I actually want to shift gears and actually give Miss Eva the opportunity, because she is our Toastmaster of the evening. So Miss Eva, I'm going to pass the baton to you, and you're a seasoned Toastmaster, so I'm excited for what you have today. Miss Eva, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. President. First and foremost, I would like to say greetings to all Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, guests, and friends. Happy New Year to all of you that I have not greeted for the new year. It has truly been an honor and a blessing to be still here in 2022. We have a great meeting for you all, because today I would like to reflect on Dr. Martin Luther King's day. Today is his day. If you could be so kind to take your cell phones and find one of the favorite quotes. It's not too many of us, but I think we should have enough time to just do a short quote of something that Dr. King brought to light for us. So take a few minutes, open up your cell phones, go on there and find a quote. Some of you and educators may already know one right off the bat, but I will start with one that I was looking at yesterday. Was really touchy for me because my husband could not preach. He had a sore throat, and I came downstairs and I looked at TV and I said, and it was a program on about Dr. King. I couldn't move for about an hour because I'm sitting there. And the favorite one that I like is I Have a Dream speech, which most of us know at least a sentence or two of that. But I found another one that I wasn't aware of, and it states, hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to love. And that was from 1967. Where do we go from here? And that is so true because there's so much hatred going on around in the world today. Anybody else want to join in? Just pop in, raise your hand, and come with your quote. Thank you.
I can happen. I actually choose a quote for my students every quarter. And one of the quotes, well, the quote for the third grade last quarter, I'm going to show it to y'all because I have the lesson plan like right here. All right. So it says, intelligence plus character. That is the goal of, so he says that it's the goal of true education, but I changed it for my students for them to say that is the goal of my education, by Dr. Martin Luther King. And all third and fourth graders can read this and recite this by heart right now. I felt like it was very important for me to introduce that to them because that's right. Like, we don't just teach them academically, but we teach them in character because that's important.
Thank you so much. Someone else? I see Trivia's hand up.
Absolutely. Excuse me. When I pulled up the quotes, like you said, there were so many that just hit me in my gut. So I'm going to just take the one that he said about faith. And he said, faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. And that's really, really important to me because a lot of times for myself, I get nervous and scared to do the things that I know that God is calling me to do. And if I take the first step, everything else moves along smoothly and that staircase just appears. So if you don't take that first step, you don't know what the rest of the steps or the stairs are going to look like.
Thank you. So true, Ms. Trivia. Next, Mr. Robert Tariq. I see your hand up, Mr. President.
Yeah, so many amazing quotes. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Man, I got all the words.
That speaks for itself, huh? Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Tyrone, I see your hand up.
Yes. In the end, we will not remember, I'm saying it wrong. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. And that bears out and has borne out even before King.
Thank you so much. There's so much wisdom. I think I saw Mr. Olio's hand up.
Yes, our lives begin to end the day we are silent about the things that matter.
Yes, thank you so much. Do we have anyone else would like to come in and chime in before we move on?
Yes. I'm sorry. Say the host has violated the video to everyone. I don't know. Sorry. The quote that comes to mind because it was ingrained in me from a kid is free at last, thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. And it has so much meaning personally to me as an entrepreneur and a divaneer, because I feel like I had the financial freedom to finally truly be myself, express myself freely the way that I want to express myself and on my time, my terms. And so that is near and dear to my heart. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any of our guests want to chime in? I see a guest or two on here. Hi, Angela, you want to chime in?
Yes, good evening, everyone. One of my favorites, I posted actually into the MSU Toastmaster Facebook page today, but I'm going to repeat it because it's worthy of being repeated. One of his quotes says, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving. So it's encouraging that we just don't give up. And when we have God on our side, we can do anything. The word of God tells us I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Thank you, Miss Angela. Anybody else?
Yes, I do one. And that's what my computer. A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. So, you lead by not
Thank you
necessarily
so
doing the popular
much.
thing.
And that's one of the things, and I do commend all of you educators out there, the ones of you that work with, got it, excuse me. I do commend all of you educators and all of you that work with our children, because one of the things that they do not teach enough in these schools is our history. Dr. King is one of the ones that most of our kids know about, and the former president, Barack Obama, but just to keep those quotes alive and keep that dream alive so we can continue to educate our children, the next generation, so they can know what they are facing. Things are getting crazier and crazy. So I thank you all for participating, and know that we all have something to bring to the table. We will move right on along, and I will introduce our counter and grammarian, Miss Trivia Payne, and after that will be our timer.
Hello. I am finding my video. I'm here now. I am
Yes.
Trivia Payne, and I am your accountant and grammarian. And tonight we have extended table topics. So Mr. John Gilmore and Mr. Tyrone Thorpe will be our table topics masters. And each speaker will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. When you get to the 1 minute and 30-second mark, I'm sorry, my colors are gone. I have my red cup of water. When I get to 1 minute, when I get, I'm lost on my time. When I get to 1 minute, I'm sorry, when you get to 1 minute, it's my red cup of water. When you get to 1 minute and 30 seconds, it's my yellow notebook. And when you get to 2 minutes, it's my green clipboard. I'm so sorry that I'm lost on my time, but I will be, and I'm not the timer. I've been doing my job. I am the accountant and grammarian. I'm looking for ums and ahs and ohs and so's. That's what I'm doing tonight. So I will be your accountant and grammarian.
Thank you so much. Next, we will have Ms. Natasha Brown, which is our original title.
Hi, good evening, Toastmasters, future Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I'm Natasha Brown, and I will be your timer for this evening. I will be timing all prepared speeches. I will be timing the table topics for this evening, and table topics are from 1 to 2 minutes. At the 1 minute mark, you will see this green water bottle letting you know that you have reached your time. It's very important to get to that 1 minute. It could be 1 minute, and you have gotten there. Okay, and if you want to keep on speaking, you have the yellow lemon that you will see at 1 minute and 30 seconds. I will hold it there until you get to the 2 minute mark. And at the 2 minute mark, you will see this red water kettle, letting you know that you have reached the 2 minute mark. All right. And then you have 30 minutes to speak after that. Thank you so much, Ms. Eva.
Thank you so much. Trivia, can we go back to the word of the day, please? Trivia?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, the word of the day for us, please.
Give me 1 second. I'm searching.
Okay, that's okay. We'll come up with it. And then we will move right along to our first extended table topics. and that will be Mr. John Gilmore will be the first one. And we have about 12 participants. So everybody on here should be able to get a chance to participate in this part of the meeting. Mr. Gilmore, would you come on and get us started, please?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I want everybody to know that Miss Eva she's psychic, because what she started, I think we should just go ahead and continue, because Dr. King gave us so many words, and I believe that we all have different interpretations. I feel like everyone heard I had a dream and heard a different dream. And I feel that it's going to be the same for this quote. So I'm going to need some people. Who wants to volunteer first?
Place your name in the chat or raise your hand and he will call you in the proper order. If we have any guests, you are welcome to participate in this part of the meeting, and we want you to.
We have Robert. Trivia, Shauna.
Trivia. How many are you looking for, John?
Maybe one more.
One more? Robert, Shauna, and Trivia thus far. Any other brave soul? Okay, we have Natasha. Go for it.
Okay, Mr. President.
I'm ready, sir.
1 through 5.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with 3.
3, okay. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love.
John, can you say it one more time? I just want to hear you say it one more time.
Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, distinguished guests. When I heard that quote from Martin Luther King, the question that came to my mind is, will you serve? Service is a must, is an action word, to give of oneself without being tired. I remember Olio or John spoke a couple months back that, DJ 5-Star, he spoke about what it is to be a servant, meaning to make sure that your plate, or if you're a waiter, making sure that your plate is empty. I think a lot of times as a servant, you must be willing to go the extra mile. You must be willing to say no to yourself and continue to give even when it hurts. And sometimes it does hurt, but it's needed. As a teacher, as an educator, every single day I wake up with the mindset, with the decision to serve my youth. As a brother, I wake up every single day to serve my family. And every single day is not the easiest day. But the one question, my next question would be is, what is your why? Why do you serve? I serve because I love the kids. I serve because that one gentleman before me decided to spend extra time with me, extra minutes after school. He decided to show me what a man was. He decided to extend his hand to serve me, to feed me, and because someone else did it before I must return the favor. So how will you serve this week? How will you serve yourself? How would you serve your friends and family? And a true servant serves when no one's looking, when they don't get that pat on the back, when they don't get that kudos, or the words of encouragement or affirmation. Great job. A servant serves tirelessly until they can't do it no more. So I'm excited this year to continue to serve everyone the best I know how. And I'm ready to make sure that my plate is empty. Back to you, John.
Thank you. Thank you. Keep on serving. Everybody needs someone to help. Who is next? Ms. Shauna,
Yes.
please bless us with a few kind words. Number, I'm sorry, scratch that. Wait until you pick a number first. 1
1 through 4. And what did Rob pick?
1 through 5. He picked 3.
Oh, I'm gonna pick 2.
There comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe nor politic nor popular, but he must take it because his conscience tells him it's right. It is right. Now bless us with your kind words.
Okay, I need you to repeat it just one more time. Sorry.
I'm glad I'm not making this up at the top of my head. There comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe nor politic nor popular, but he must take it because his conscience tells him that it is right.
Okay. Greetings, Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. There is a time when we have to be fearless. We have to be fearless and listen to ourselves and sometimes to spirit when it feels uncomfortable, when it feels unpolitical, and when it feels unpopular. And the reason that being fearless will allow you to do that is because you are, the reason that fearlessness will allow you to do that, or maybe I should say, you want to dig into your fearlessness to be able to do that because you are individual. You're individual and you bring a uniqueness to this world that everyone is not going to understand. Personally, I am a Black female electrical engineer, and growing up or coming up and as this profession, I was not that token, young lady. I was very fabulous and fearless in who I am. And why it was so powerful is because I'm laying down a legacy for a bunch of young ladies that are coming behind me who need to feel just as fearless as I am, so that they can, one, break stereotypes of what people perceive engineers or scientists to look like, and also so that we can have more women joining us in the fight and changing what is politically right and what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. So in closing, because I think I've reached my 2-minute mark, actually I'm hitting the 2-minute mark, I would just say that it's okay to walk in your fearlessness. Join me.
Thank you. You did an amazing job. Who is next? Is it Natasha or?
Trivia.
Trivia. Okay. Trivia, if you could come to the front.
I'm in the front. How are you?
Great. Pick a number, 1 or 4.
I'll take number 1.
Let no man pull you so low as to hate him.
I just want to repeat it again. Let no man pull you as to hate him.
Let no man pull you so low as to hate him.
Okay, awesome. Good evening, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. Let no man pull you that's just the first part of it all. When we're going through obstacles in life, we don't need to worry about who's going to be our haters, who's going to be our naysayers. We have to think about what is going to get us to the next level. So, in terms of that quote, I think often about that for myself. What is it that is going to get me to where God has me to be? I don't desire to let anyone pull me so low that their judgment determines how I feel about them or their opinion, because ultimately it's their opinion. However, I do take into consideration what it is that's going to make me better. So even though their situation or their thought or theory of me may make me feel overwhelmed, it's my job and my duty to continue to allow even those who are naysayers and those who could potentially be haters to push me to my destiny. So I don't feel any way how if you have a negative connotation to pull me down, or if it's your goal to pull me down. My goal is to take each and every one of those negative situations and make them a positive situation. An example of that, if my goal is to start a business, and we know that there's always haters, if my goal is to start a business, I'm going to allow you to say the things that you want to say. However, I'm going to see what it is that you don't like about my starting a business so that I can be productive and have you to be one of my clients eventually. So Toastmasters, I will never allow my haters to be my breakers or to pull me down to the next level. Thank you very much.
That was amazing. Thank you. I believe that Natasha is next.
I am here.
Okay, so number 4 or number 5?
Number 5.
Okay, I think this one's you. No one has the right to rain on your dreams.
Oh, that was it? Say it again, please.
No one has the right to rain on your dreams.
No one has the right to rain on your dreams. All right. Thank you so much, Table Topic Master, for that amazing topic. All right. No one has the right to rain on your dreams. I think that's absolutely correct. You know, nobody gave anybody, God did not give them the vision. He gave you the vision. You know, there are certain things that only you are going to be able to do in the world because it is something specifically unique to you. So if you're the only person that God told, and if you're the only person that can do it, then there's going to be a lot of people that may not understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, and they may talk about you like you're crazy for doing it. Noah was crazy until it actually rained. So what I would say is to be encouraged. If you are doing some things and people are looking like, oh my goodness, that dream is crazy, then get excited because God is getting ready to do something mind-blowing in and through you. So they can rain if they want to, but hopefully you will take that rain and use the water to nurture the dream so that you can bring it to fruition. And maybe the way you steward your dreams in that time will actually inspire them to keep pushing when they have this grand dream that nobody else is able to see. Thank you, Table Topics Master.
Amazing. Thank you. Do we have another volunteer or
John, we actually do. I have a friend online named let's see if he's check. Is he still there? Keith. It's all love, but he might have fell off. He's gone. Never mind, John. We'll see if he come back. I think he logged off, John.
Okay. I'm going to leave you all with this one before we go to the next. And it is, a riot is the language of the unheard. And I believe that we all heard this, and I know that we have different ways of hearing that. But as a person who's trained in some of this, like crisis intervention, this breeds frustration. When someone bottles themselves up so much that they don't know how to express themselves, or someone is so afraid to really share themselves, they get frustrated. And unfortunately, frustration comes in physical expression as well as other expressions. But it just shows us that we need to hear people. We need to express ourselves. And I think that is one way that we can bring more love into and just around us, more love into our environment, just by hearing someone that's having a bad day, not someone that looks like they just need someone to tap them on the back and say, hey, share your dream. What is it that you're holding? Express yourself. I just want to share that with you all, and we can go to the next person. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John. I heard somebody say great minds think alike. I didn't know what you were going to talk about in table topics, nor you didn't know what I was going to talk, because that's what it's about. Great minds, and all of you that spoke so eloquently, and you gave us a sense of helps, education, faith, to keep pushing on, to keep striving to the next level. I just was speaking with someone about living outside the box. She wants to leave here and go to Florida for her dream job. I said, most of us get a gift, we unwrap it, we open the box up, and we live within the walls of that box. And sometimes we just have to live outside the box and see what the next step is. Thank you so much. Let's give John a hand for his table topics. Thank you. The next person coming up will be Mr. Tyrone Thorne. You still can come back and be a part of Table Topics Part 2. Take it away, Mr. Tyrone.
Good evening, all, and Happy New Year wishes to all who are hearing me today. I'm Tyrone Thorpe. I'm your Table Topics Master for this evening, and today is a federal holiday for MLK. But I want to take a different approach. I want to take the obscurity. John talked about the quotes that many of us have heard or have now got an inkling to hear. But Dr. King was very prolific, and there are a lot of speeches and statements that are not the quote-unquote go-tos. I Have a Dream is a go-to. His last speech at Ebenezer was a go-to. Striking for the sanitation workers is a go-to. But I want to talk about the obscure speeches that he had. I originally wanted to do the controversial because we almost always get Dr. King in the most sanitized version ever, but he was just as radical and as direct as he was pacifist. But of course, finding those radical quotes were meaty, and a quote could be a paragraph in that realm. So to pacify my need to address that, I chose to find the obscurities that still have a degree of packing punch and having those wisdom nuggets that you would get from Olio and Eva, and occasionally Natasha when she's in the educational mode for everyone who's from 0 to 5 and from 5 going to infinity. So I want to go into that realm of thinking on the obscurities and see how you think, feel, disagree, or not with what's being said. And anyone can participate. I'm starting to ramble. Anyone who is adroit enough can participate in this. You were just finding out what you want to say relative to the quote. And I have a max of 6. Anyone can run with. Okay, I see Olio is one. And we need 5 more.
Do we have any
Whether
guests?
it's a chat or okay, I see Angela. Okay.
Any guests? I see KC and Nina B. Want to join us? Give it a shot.
Guests are encouraged.
I see John.
Shauna.
Shauna.
That's 2 times. All right.
I'll try.
All right. Okay. Since Olio struck first, pick a number from 1 to 6.
Olio.
My fault. I forgot I was muted. 3.
Okay. And it reads as thus. A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. Take it away, Olio.
When I hear this quote, I think of the person that says, I'm not going to look around for the path that everyone's already taken and I'll follow that path. But I look for the person that says, I'll lead that path and be the first person to go. So here's what I think of when I hear that quote, right? And to be adroit enough to be very clever, I want you to think of something. Roger Bannister, when he was the person that cleared that mile under the minute, and everyone was like, oh, if he can do it, we can do it. He gave people belief. But see, here's the thing about Roger Bannister. He didn't have anyone himself to see someone take that mile in that time frame. He was the person that says, I'll be the molder. I'll go first. He had a leadership spirit versus a boss spirit. That boss mentality versus a leader. Now here's the difference. A boss is a person, they tell you what to do. They may not be doing it, but they're just going to tell you to do it. So it's a weak position of power. But a leader, they're a person that demonstrates it, right? I've never heard of someone that rises to low expectations, right? They call it downtown because that's where people do a lot of things that prevent them from going upstream. So what I'm saying is, if you're going to be the person that molder of different expectations and be the leader, then you got to also have a dream. You have to be the person that says, I got to do it and see myself. I'm fluid, I'm a joy, but understand I'll be my team. Have God, have others. And I'll look inside of other people and see that they are other people that could look for me for inspiration. So aspire to inspire. You have to be the person that you have to say, hey, I don't need someone to tell me what to do all the time. See, I have my own, they tell you just, I have my own accountability. Leaders are not afraid to establish accountability. But let me tell you who are. The people that don't really want to get things done. So this is what I tell you today. Don't be a person that talks about doing things. Be the person that actually does them. You will judge the tree by the fruit it bears, not the fruit it claims to be. So you be that thermostat, not the thermometer. The thermometer goes up and down with the temperature. The thermostat controls it. So you control your dream, your vision, and show everyone that it is manufactured to be frozen. And it will only get watered down for everyone else to follow. Toastmasters, thank you.
Manufactured to be frozen. You may want to trademark that one because that's profound. Absolutely profound. And now, Angela. Pick a number from 1 to 6 with the exception of 3.
Number 1.
As Jill Scott said, the magic number.
Is that the quote?
No,
Okay.
that's a song by Jill Scott. 1 is a magic number. The quote reads as thus. When you are right, You cannot be too radical. When you are wrong, you cannot be too conservative. I'll read it again. When you are right, you cannot be too radical. When you are wrong, you cannot be too conservative. Take it away.
Good evening, Toastmaster, future Toastmasters, distinguished guests and friends. Being right or being wrong, either you're radical or conservative, but you have to speak your truth. In order to make a difference or be the difference, have impact, have influence, you have to speak your truth. Some will agree with you, and they'll be your supporter, your support system. And then there are some people that will disagree with, and they say that you're wrong. But in either case, you have to speak your truth. Where you're right, you're being radical because you're standing on what you believe. And not only just standing, you're standing strong. So that might rub some people the wrong way. But it's okay because it's your truth. And when people think that you're wrong, or if you're wrong, you can't be conservative because you still have to speak your truth. Right or wrong, do what you're supposed to do, believe what you believe, and you will be okay. Being conservative at times can make it seem like you're not sure of who you are or what you believe. So whatever you do it with your power. Listen to the inner voice and not the outside voice. Because the influence you want to have is what you believe. That's your truth. So I want to remind everyone today is your truth. And that's what you have to live out each and every day. Right or wrong, live it and be strong. That's my time, and I thank you.
Another one, Angela, right or wrong. That's yours. Another one you need to trademark because it rhymes and it's timely. And we have John. Pick a number from 1 to 6 with the exception of 1 and 3.
Number 4.
Okay. Dr. King said, we are not makers of history. We are made by history. We are not makers of history. We are made by history. Take it away, John.
You'll hear many people talk about the future as if we don't have a past. And I believe that we are all an accumulation of our past. Is what makes us who we are now. Where our forefathers stood, where our Dr. Kings or our Malik Shabazz are no longer here, but they set a way for us. We are that past. And we learn from our past so that we can make our present a present worth living in and our future worth going towards. We cannot forget that, and we can't lie about history. We can't change history. It's not to be changed, it's just to be learned from. Many people here today, I can say for sure, does not know that or don't care. But as we see this world changing the way that it is, it's because no one knows where they came from. So no one really knows where they're going. And we have so many lost people out here in the world just because of that very reason. I believe that we should always remember our history because, again, it's what tells us our future. Thank you, Toastmasters.
Sound like a song called Don't Forget to Remember. And that's a good message. Next on deck is Shauna Steph Jones. Pick a number from 1 to 6 with the exception of 1, 3, and 4.
2.
Okay. We can all appreciate this. Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute understanding from people of ill will. I'll read it again. Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute understanding from people of ill will. Take it away, Shauna.
Can you repeat it one more time? Shallow
Understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will.
Okay. Greetings, Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. Shallow understanding from people of good will is more frustrating. I believe you said frustrating.
That's correct.
Okay, it's more frustrating than absolute understanding of
Misunderstanding.
than absolute misunderstanding from people of malice intent.
Ill will, yes.
Ill will. Okay. I would I mean, it's going to take a moment for me to really think about that because that was a bit lengthy. But if I'm going to give it a stab at it within my 1 minute that I got to reach, I would say that I kind of don't understand the quote. So that's what's really holding me up. But I would say that shallow understanding, I would have to disagree. From what I understand the quote to be, I would have to disagree. I believe that a shallow understanding from a person with good will is not as frustrating as a person who has an absolute understanding, or was it misunderstanding? Misunderstanding. I guess I would disagree from the way that I understand it because I feel like if it's a shallow understanding from a person of goodwill, it probably would not frustrate me. It probably would intrigue me to understand, where the shallowness is coming from. So it will cause me to be more inquisitive and really want to understand where the shallow understanding is coming from versus someone who of ill intent, who has an absolute misunderstanding of a concept. I feel like if it is ill, if the understanding is rooted in an ill person or a person who has ill will, it wouldn't frustrate me because that's what I would expect from them. I've reached my time. So I'm going to stop right here and turn it back over to you, Tyrone, so that we can continue our meeting.
Perspective is everything. Perspective is everything. Let's see now. We have, okay, now my screen wants to act disheveled. Kind of scroll here. One moment, please. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties. Natasha. And let's see. We only have 2 left, and that is 5 and 6.
I'm gonna go with number 5.
Okay, and it reads as thus. There can be no deep disappointment where there is no deep love. There can be no deep disappointment where there is no deep love.
Okay, that's true. If there are feelings there, when you have feelings and emotions and things like that, it's really indicators of, what you actually care about. So if there's a topic or a situation or a person and it shifts your energy, or, you know, you go from being happy to sad or sad to happy or whatever the case may be, there is some emotional attachment to it. I know that a common saying is, I don't care. You know, something may happen, like, I don't care about that. But that is kind of a signal that you actually do care, you know, and it may be bothering you. And that's a way for you to deflect from how you actually feel about a thing. But I think that honesty is the best policy, truth over feelings. We have to reveal to heal. So if there's an emotion that we're feeling, you know, then I think that it's good to identify it and to not be evasive of what our subconscious is telling us. Back to you.
You have to reveal to heal. That's a mantra for mental health and just healing in general. The last person was going to be Eva, but at the behest of our president, it is going to be Mr. Casey or Miss Casey. I don't know the gender because we were just announced and introduced. I can't say true or false of it, but Casey is the last person and they're getting speech or quote number 6. Are you ready? Okay. The last quote by King, and an obscure one as they all were, is this: almost always, the creative, dedicated minority has made the world better. Almost always, the creative, dedicated minority has made the world better. Take it away, Casey.
Good evening, everyone. What I would take from that is, as they say, the meek shall inherit the earth. So typically, people coming from a less fortunate place have better eyesight of the world. So you look and see what is needed, because it's harder to come from a place to improve when you're coming from a place of privilege. So for those reasons, a minority with a strong mind and a creative spirit will, you know, do the work and the labor that is needed to sow a seed for themselves and for other minorities, and thereby improve the world as a whole. I'm succinct. That's all I got.
And that is always a plus. That is always a plus to be succinct. Not terse, but succinct. It definitely helps. And Eva, I'm going to find a way to make a way. Since you did want to volunteer to speak on something obscure, I'm going to find one for you because it definitely works. And given that you are in the spirit of MLK and you were alive and well and understanding of what was meant to be said, I'm going to take a spin on something, but not from MLK. I'm going to take a spin on MLK's better half, Coretta Scott King. And it aligns with something that John said in the spirit and context of hate. And Coretta said, hate is too great a burden to bear. It injures the hater more than it injures the hated. Hate is too great a burden to bear. It injures the hater more than it injures the hated.
You didn't have
Take
to
it
go
away,
out your way. You didn't have to go out your way, Ty, for me. On that subject, hate. So many of us cannot seem to forgive someone that have offended us. We dwell on trying to pay back. And we don't realize we're only hurting ourselves because of the hatred that we continue to hold. I know when I was young and I would see somebody that did me wrong and I'd look at them and just see them walk in the room and I say, I hate them. I wasn't a fighter because I had 5 sisters behind me. But just to see how much hatred we're looking at now in the world itself, where people can't even look at each other with a smile or a grin. The color of your skin, people hate. It's so sad. It's easier to show love or to speak, wave, but we tend to hold on to so much over the years that it becomes instilled in us. And the only way to get rid of that is to start showing love to one another. Do better by one another and try to learn why that person have so much hatred in their heart. Thank you.
I insist. Thank you for sharing your insights on the matter. I will say that all of you were adroit to the degree that you could be. KC being the most concise and succinct. Eva giving her insights from the ground up. Natasha telling us that we need to heal. We had to reveal the heal. Shauna giving us a definite perspective that turns a pope on his head. And Olio really showing us what a boss is versus what a leader is, vice versa. Thank you for giving of your time, your talent, and your treasures on this MLK Day, the federal side of it. And back to the Toastmistress, Eva Colbert.
Thank you, Mr. Tyrone. Always very interesting when you give table topics. Thanks to John. Thanks to everyone that participated, even our newbie, Miss KC. Great job. That's what it's all about, just getting in there and getting those butterflies out. Well, so far it's been really great, and I will turn it over to our general evaluator, Miss Shauna Step-Jenkins.
Thank you, Madam Toastmistress. I am the general evaluator now. And so during this part of our meeting, we will listen to our reports from our all-counter grammarian as well as our timer. And then I will finish with a general evaluation of the overall meeting. So at this time, I would like to invite our all-counter grammarian, Ms. Trivia Payne, to the mic.
Thank you, Ms. Shauna. Okay, our report was phenomenal tonight. We had a few a few ahs. A lot of you all killed it with the a lot of you all. We also had a repeat of a word, and I don't know if it was intentional by John. And last but not least, we had a few souls. Overall, our and I just said overall, our report was amazing. And I look forward to our next meeting the next time I can be all-counter and grammarian.
Thank you, Ms. Trivia. Next, we will have our timer report by Natasha Brown.
Good evening, everyone. We have an amazing timer report as well. So for the first session of our table topics, Mrs. Tyree, 1 minute and 55 seconds. Shauna, 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Trivia, 1 minute, 47 seconds. Natasha, 1 minute, 19 seconds. For the second session, Olio, 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Angela, 1 minute, 54 seconds. John, 1 minute, 15 seconds. Shauna, 1 minute, 20 seconds. Eva, 1 minute, 30 seconds. Natasha, 1 minute, 26 seconds. And Casey, 36 seconds. Okay. And that is the end of my timer report. Oh, before I move on though, I just wanted to let you all know that there was a theme for the things that I had for you today, and it was all around water. That's one of the goals that I have, is just to continue to drink water, hydrate myself, whether it is cold all day or whether it is hot all day. Sprinkle a little lemon goes a long way. All right, back to you.
Thank you, Ms. Natasha, for sharing those refreshing words with us. At this time, I'm going to give a general evaluation of the meeting. Our meeting started a little after time. I'm going to blame that on just it being a new year and us just getting into flow. We started off with our Toastmaster, Madam Red Bottoms. If you don't know her, that is Miss Eva Colbert, smiling beautifully in the red sweater. She started our meeting with us reflecting on MLK Day, and it was very refreshing to hear how his powerful words has transcended transcended generations all the way to our very day. Next, after we all participated for the most part in reflecting, we went into our extended table topics, first led by Mr. John Gilmore, again on MLK quotes, and in contrast was followed by Mr. Tyrone Taborn, who led topics on obscurities about Dr. King, or brought about by some of Dr. King's speeches and quotes, which challenged us all, me in particular, to be a bit adroit in my public speaking. And I also wanted to give a shout out to our guest, Miss Casey, for being brave enough and adroit enough to grace us with your voice. So thank you for being a participant. We welcome new faces and voices. We welcome you and encourage you to come back. I do have a few of one or two reminders. Again, I mentioned that we started off a little late. So I encourage us to improve upon that so that we can start our meetings on time. And then finally, I want to just remind everyone to take a look at your roles, even if it's with 5 minutes before the meeting, preferably a day before the meeting, but 5 minutes before the meeting will do. But take a look at your roles and just familiarize yourself with your duties. And you can even visit the Toastmasters website that has some pre-drafted scripts to help you move the meeting along, will help you succeed in your role. Other than that, I would say that this was an amazing meeting, first meeting for the top of the year. I always enjoy spending time with each and every one of you. And I will turn this meeting over to our president.
All right. Thank you, Shauna, for that report. I just want to give a couple of quick shout outs. Some things that I noticed during the course of this meeting that I thought was really amazing. Shauna and Angela, I noticed that you guys, like during the table topics, broke down maybe like a 1 or 2 small notes to kind of get your thoughts together. And I've never noticed that from anyone. So I'm just like, that is like a skill set or just a reminder that if you can kind of like get one thought and then kind of exaggerate that thought during your conversation piece, it can go a long way. So was I right about that, Shauna, Angela? Okay, I'm listening. It's a new year, new eyes, you know? Trivia. Amazing job doing tabletop, like giving examples. I'm like, okay. You was going on with your speech, and then, for example, I'm like, it's just, once again, you can show the growth, see the growth of individuals from starting from one point and just adding on to make sure they got to that next minute, right? So, Miss Eva, amazing job showing us once again how to pause when you're gathering your thoughts. You are a very attentional speaker, and you slow down at the right points, and then the thoughts just keep going, and you're very polished at doing that. So Tyrone also, sir, we always have like a table topic master for like the year or the decade. I think that was the most phenomenal table topic I've ever heard. Also, Trivia wrote down in the chat the amazing recap, to be able to recap every single person's speech and just give a highlight. I know Tracy does an amazing job as well when he's here. He was here early this morning. I'm early in the meeting, but to be able to do that on a drop of a dime. And if you guys don't know, Tyrone has his ability to memorize quotes from our individuals who are speaking. He'll come back like 2 months. And Casey, something you said, he'll put it in a table topic or repeat it in a speech. I'm like, Tyrone, I need that. I need that in my life. Also, Casey, good job for coming out and just giving your all I believe it's your first table topic. And you definitely showed off today. So we want to make sure that we just continue to grow as a team. And that's all I wanted just to say. I'm pretty sure I missed out a couple other individuals, but I just want to highlight the ones that really caught my eye. And Olio, I always love every single time that you're speaking and you go into your flow. I like the twist of leadership and boss. Kudos to you. So I want to send it back over to our VP of Education for VP. Am I okay? I can throw it back to you right now? Or should I go to Olio right now?
We can follow the flow of the agenda.
All right, we're going to throw it right back to VP of Education for the Educational Corner. Natasha, you ready? Catch it.
Oh, got it. All right, and I'm throwing it in the chat. So in the chat, you will find a link to a website, Planning with Terry. She's actually a vice president of education in another club. It's training season, and I just finished training on Friday. Woo-hoo. So all of our officers are being trained so that we can know the best way to serve you. And one of the things that I learned from that training, I'm going to pass on to you all. So I'm not going to go into details on every single bullet. So that's why I went ahead and dropped it in the chat. So you all can just click on that, put it up in one of your tabs so that you can have it once the Zoom closes. And this is information about completing a path. So she gave some really great advice. Now, these are just suggestions. So don't think like, especially if you are a new member or considering membership, that these are the things that you have to do. These are just some really good tips that will help you to stay organized in this process. So the first one is to create a filing system. So if you have a laptop, or even you can do it physically with paper, to just have a place like where you're doing your speakers, your speeches, keep track of your evaluations, keep track of your projects so that you can know where you are and where you're going. This is also very good for if you're not going in order. And I'll go ahead on to the next bullet, which is project planning. When I say not in order, there are several different projects that are in our paths. And right now, 9 times out of 10, we're going in order to complete these projects. But what I want to do is to help us build a better strategy. Because some of these things, we're speaking and we're doing on a day-to-day. So if we look at our path as a whole, we can see, we can tailor our projects to the things that we have coming up, in our daily lives. So let's say next month you have to do a speech at your job about something. Maybe there is a speech in step 4 or level 4 of your pathway that you can go ahead and knock out. So that is what we are speaking of when we say project planning, looking at the project and being a little bit more intentional about how you are doing your speeches. 3, commitment to the process. Once we decide that we're going to go ahead and start this process of completing our project, I, as your vice president of education, will definitely meet with you and help you map that out. We can map out, let's say you want to get done before June, before this year is out. So we can sit down and see how many projects you have and when you want to knock those out so that you can fulfill your goal. And you can also speak at other clubs. You can do speeches pretty much anywhere, as long as you have someone to evaluate you. And we can talk in more detail about that. The next The next steps are pretty basic. You practice your speech, you deliver your speech, and you reflect on your speech. All right, so you practice your speech, you deliver your speech, and you reflect on your speech. I believe that the reflection on your speech is one of the most crucial parts, because you get to learn what you did well, and you get to learn where you need to grow so that you can run it back and do it again. So again, the 6 steps to completing your path. You can create a filing system to keep yourself in order. You can project plan to make sure that you have the best strategy, and you can really tailor the path to fit your lifestyle instead of fitting your lifestyle around the path. 3, commit to the process, and then we're practicing, delivering, and reflecting. All right. Again, the link is in the chat if you want to take a look at this a little later. And I'll send it back to you, President.
All right, y'all. We're going to send it off to our treasurer, Olio. Olio, will you come to the mic for us?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. All right, great evening, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I am your treasurer, and I'm just talking about how much it costs to be a part of this lovely, lovely, wonderful organization. So if you don't know, for all new members, you might be thinking about the price and saying, is it $500, $1,000 for this content? And wait one moment, let me tell you how much it is. I confirmed it. It's only $70, ladies and gentlemen, $70, and that will cover you for 6 months. Okay, that's not $70 a month. That's not $70 a day. That's $70 one time, and that'll cover you for 6 months. Now, keep in mind, it is prorated. Okay, so I know you're like, oh, but what if I'm coming in and then it's like 3 months to renewal, because a renewal is coming April the 1st. Now, if you've already been a member, you actually, that $20 first time fee for new members, it's waived. So now your referral dues are only $50. Okay, and just keep in mind, that covers you for 6 months. This thing is tax deductible also. Okay, so you can write this off as training, write this off for your businesses, for your work, and you can write that off for taxes. And the last thing I'll just say is, if you want a breakdown of everything, so the $50 goes like this. You have the $50 for the club dues, and then we have $5 that goes towards our club personally, so that we can assist you, whether it's club snacks or different events. All right, we have the Cash App, that is hashtag MSUTM. And we take PayPal also. That is MSU Toastmasters Club at gmail.com, both which will be provided inside the chat. Thank you for everyone for tuning in, and that is your treasurer moment. Turning it back over to you.
Thank you, sir, so much for your growth in your role as well, sir. All right. We are actually going to take roles for, actually, we're going to pause. We're going to thank everyone who came out tonight with us, that's on live on YouTube, and also on, and I guess it just stopped